Stokes, have you decided on a team for the Test match?
Yeah, we have. Ollie Robinson comes in for Matt Wood and Shoaib Bashir in for Ryan Ahmed.
And why have you made those decisions?
Look, I think it was a heavy workload last week for Woody, and Woody's the type of player, the skills that he's got, you want to be having fresh, and he put in a pretty Goliath effort last week, bowled a lot of overs, so good chance for him to have a break. But it's the attack in which we brought out of the seam, I think we are able to do that. Obviously Robbo's missed out on the first 3 games, but he gets his chance this week. And just looking at the wicket, I think the assets which Bash has, I think we'll be able to use a bit more than the leg spin of Ray. Obviously Bash bowls from an extremely tall height, and we think that this wicket might offer some spin, but also we think that Bash's bounce might come into play a bit more.
Kind of punters guessed that it might have been Bashir in for Anderson, so has Jimmy pulled up fine and is ready to go for this Test match?
Yeah, he's good as gold. And
yesterday you described the pitch as something you'd never seen before. 24 hours on, is that still the case?
No, I mean, it does look a bit different. They've taken a bit more of the grass off, but yeah, still interesting looking wicket. But we won't know what goes on until we play tomorrow. You've
picked 2 seamers again. Does that mean that you're less likely to bowl in this Test match? You said yesterday it was a case of how you felt today. How are you feeling today? Are you going to have a bowl?
I've pulled up very well, which is encouraging signs for me. But I think regardless of that, again, just looking at the wicket, that's how we always try and pick our team about what we think is going to give us the best chance. And I feel, although we feel like there is going to be assistance for the spinners, I feel like this wicket looks like it could be, both seam and spin can play their part. So that's why we've gone with the 2 seamers.
I know this team looks to try and put results second, or not get too high or too low. This is obviously a must-win scenario for England. You're a bunch of elite athletes. If you lost down the local power league at 5-a-side, you'd be annoyed. Does the kind of competitive juices get flowing a little bit more when the fixtures are like this and you have to win to stay in the series?
No, they're always there. I think that comment in terms of not coming on top of everything sort of gets taken the wrong way. Whereas we always want to win every time we walk out there. We don't want to lose, but we know the most important thing to us is sticking to our process and trying to play good cricket for however long the Test matches last. And we know if we can do that and sustain that for a long period of time throughout the Test, then we're going to give ourselves the best chance to get that result we want.
Ryan Ahmed's been a very key player across this tour. How did he take the news?
Good. I think the communication part about leaving players out, I think, is very key, and giving them an understanding as to why we think that. So then there's no sort of stone unturned. And the reason I gave you is one of the reasons I gave Ray, and he totally understood that. And I think the contribution that he's made throughout the series has been everything that we've asked of him. He's been our obviously the leg spinner to come on and try and change the game, and then I think the skill that he has down the bat, any of the team is probably batting a lot higher than that. But I think this experience in itself is going to do wonders for him in the long term, and I think he's thrown everything that he's possibly got at the 3 games he's played at. So he can hold his head high, and obviously everyone's going to be disappointed to not play, but obviously sometimes selection can mean disappointment for some players.
With a potentially slightly shorter Test match being expected, kind of 200, 250 could be a good score. Was there any temptation to bring in the extra batter in Dan Lawrence?
No, I think if you start thinking like that, you're sort of you're thinking too much about it. We, as I say, we go with the 11 in which we think is going to give us the best chance. It's always great having someone like Dan Lawrence on the sideline waiting for their turn because of what he offers with the bat, the ball, and in the field as well.
Ollie Robinson hasn't played a single game of cricket since July. You're fully confident in his fitness and that he's going to be good to go for potentially 3, 4, 5 days? Yeah,
definitely. The hard work that the guys put in, when they unfortunately miss out on long tours is for a reason, and the way in which he's operated, with the opportunities not coming, I think have been exemplary, and I think he's built himself up nicely for the chance that he's got this week.
Ben Stokes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.